Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Musso. I'm going to go over the anatomy of the brain. We're going to start with the meninges. The top, we're going to have the dura mater. Below that, in the middle, we're going to have the arachnoid layer. And then at the base, the deepest of the three layers, we're going to have the pia mater. Okay, so now that we dissected off the meninges here, we'll go into some of the exterior aspects of the brain. So at first we're going to start with the cerebrum, which is going to be the largest portion of the brain here. Right here, these ridges, these kind of thick areas here, those are going to be the gyrus. And then those lines in between, those little like valleys, you can think of like a ridge and a valley, those little valleys are going to be the sulcus. And then the longitudinal cerebral fissure is going to be this long valley down the center. Okay. Next, we'll go to the brainstem. First, we're going to have the midbrain, which is going to be up in this region over here. We'll get into that more when I actually cut this open. Then we'll have the pons, which is here, and then the medulla oblongata, that's going to be down in this region. For the cerebellum, which is going to be this small portion of the brain back here, the vermis is going to be the center unpaired region. It connects the two hemispheres of the cerebellum, and then the lateral hemispheres are going to be, the right and left side of the cerebellum. So for the pituitary gland is going to be right here, that little dark spot. I dissected through it, so that's going to be your pituitary gland. For your cranial nerves, starting with cranial nerve 1, olfactory, you have the olfactory bulbs, which are going to be these big things here up top, and then the nerves are going to track back deeper into the brain. Cranial nerve 2 is going to be the optic nerve, so let's pull this out here. So here you have the optic nerve. This is going to go to the orbits. The optic chiasm, which is right here, they cross over. And then down in here where I dissected is going to be the optic tract. For ocular motor, maybe when I cut this I can see a little better, but the ocular motor, cranial nerve 3 ocular motor is going to be roughly in this area. I can't really see it very well, but maybe when I cut it open I can see better. Cranial nerve number 4, trochlear, is going to be this little guy right here. That little guy shooting out. Cranial nerve number 5, trigeminal. You can actually see from my dissection. Sorry. It's going to be this thick nerve right here. It's going to be roughly in this area right here. I dissected it off. And then cranial nerve number 6, abducens, which I cannot really see. I'm not saying it's not here. It actually might be this little thing right here. That little nerve. So then finally, we'll go to the spinal cord before we cut this open. So your spinal cord here. You have your white matter on the outside, your gray matter on the inside, and then if you flip it over, the dorsal roots are going to be up top, and the ventral roots are going to be on the bottom. You can kind of see that little X-looking horn in the center there. So I'll cut this open and finish the lab. Okay, so now that we have the sheep's brain cut open, we'll get back to it. We'll start with the midbrain. Right here in this region, you have the cerebral peduncle, and then the superior and inferior colliculus. No luck on the cranial nerves. Cutting the sheep's brain open didn't help me in the slightest, so got what I got earlier. Here we have the corpus callosum right there. We have the thalamus, hypothalamus. We have the septum pellucidum, which is going to be inside here, and the choroid plexus is going to be that tissue that's inside there, inside the septum pellucidum. The third ventricle is going to be right here, this little hole. The cerebral aqueduct is going to run back this way into the fourth ventricle down here. And then to cap it all off, we have the arbor vitae, which is a super white matter that's inside the cerebellum. So that concludes my lab, and thank you for watching.